I'm April. Thank you so much for joining me. This is a routine that I like to do immediately after a run to try to get my hips back level and just everything coming back to the center line of the body versus just because running is just, again, so unilateral, but also bouncing from one side to the next. And just in case I had been running with some kind of a dysfunction, maybe my toe was developing a blister, whatever it would be, if I've done any kind of strange pattern when running, this is something that kind of helps to pull everything back together. First thing we're going to do is actually get into some jumps. So what I want to do is start in a good standing posture. So I'm kind of pointing my tailbone down, my knees are a little bit bent, squeezing my hip bones together. I'm definitely pulling my abdominals in and up, pulling my front hip points towards the bottom of my ribs here, so I'm creating a nice brace. This is nice and hard. Now from here I'm going to go ahead and hinge the hips back, so I'm going to point the tailbone actually back. Use my arms and land very softly. Come down a little bit more. Basically try to get the femur on both sides to get back into the socket. Helps you to bring the hips back some more. Push into the ground as you're coming down and as you're coming up. So as I'm coming back down, I'm going to press hard into the ground, or into the bench in this case. I'm going to go down deep, hinge the hips back, and then I'm going to land further down. Bring the hips back some more. Coming all the way up, back. Gentle. That's 2. Soft landing. 3. 4. 5. As you go back, try to go deeper into that squat. 6. 'Use your abdominals, pull them in, pull the chest in, heart up towards your sternum. Deeper. 7. Legs are pretty dead. 8. 'And if you kind of have poor dorsiflexion, it can be difficult 9 to land back and go deeper. It's kind of hard, but it helps definitely increase dorsiflexion. Right here. Yep. 10. Try to land so softly you can't hear it. Pull the abs up. Deeper. 11. Bring the hip joint back into the socket. 12. 13. 14. Lower. Last one. 15. Okay. Next one we're gonna do, right foot up. Left foot's pretty close to the bench. What we're gonna do is step up, very controlled. I'm gonna pull my right hip bone back into the socket. When I pull up on my left side, I'm gonna make sure I'm keeping length in between this hip and this rib versus crunching into it. So I'm gonna definitely want some length right here. So let's go ahead and start. Lean forward. My right knee leaning forward. Hands are forward. Try not to jump. Just stand up. I really want to straighten this right leg. And I want to pull my hips forward. Reach forward also, which helps to take your shoulders over your hips versus behind. Pull your sternum back into the bra strap or middle of your back. And just really get yourself tall. Pull yourself up. Pull the ribs up away from the hips. Straighten this right leg some more. Pull the hips forward some more. You have a crease where the right upper thigh meets the glutes. Keep that crease. Now start coming down. Hinge this right femur back into the socket. Down more, more, more. Pull the right knee out using your hip. Pull it out more. And then you can kind of come back. Let's try that again. Coming forward, not jumping. Try to use the right leg. Coming up. Stretching yourself tall. Right knee straightening. Gentle breaths through the nose. Hips forward. Keeping length in the torso. Pulling yourself up even as you go down. Pulling the right knee out using the hip. Hinge that hip back. One more. Nice and smooth. Tailbone down, feel the crease on the right side. And start to come back. Keep the right side body long. Great. Left leg. Coming forward. Use that left leg to pull yourself up. Straighten that left leg. Shift the hips forward. Reach the arms forward. Keep the length in the torso. And especially as we come down, keep that length on that left side. Hinge that hip back. Pull the left knee out to the left, using the left hip. Come down more, more, back more, and step back with that right foot. 2. Relax your fingers. Shift those hips forward. Relax your shoulders down. Straighten that left knee. And coming back. Pull that left knee out. One more. Back further, deeper into the squat. Pull the belly up, abdominals up, chest up, heart up, into the spine. Good. Okay, this next one. Come onto the bench. Put your right foot in the middle. Left foot is going to be out to the side. And we're going to sit our hips back and let this left leg go out to the side, and then we're going to toss it over the back. Again, we're hinging the hips back. Motion up. Other side. Dropping the leg behind you. Keeping the hip bones even. Pull the abdominals in. Pull this right knee out to the right, using your hip. Keep the pressure outwards as you come up. 2. Get that right hip joint going back. And up. 3. 4. Belly up. 5. Keeping that knee pressing out. You're coming up and down. Hip back. Good. Other side. I like my hands out in front. I'm kind of pulling them apart as I come down. The right leg is definitely behind me. It's not in front of me. That way I'm not getting into using the hip flexors or anything like that. Pulling this left knee out. Don't let it cave in. 2. 3. Pull the hip back. 4. Keep that length in the torso. 5. Do your best to keep the nasal breathing. Keep the knee pressing out. Woo-wee. All right. Now, with this one, right foot's on the bench. You want to keep the body tall this time versus hinging back. All right, so on this one, there's a few tricks. Left leg, which is floating down, needs to be nice and straight and behind you versus in front. Again, we're not trying to get the hip flexors involved, so keep it behind you. It's going straight down. The leg is staying straight. The hands need to be crossed here. Again, I'm going to like it like this. You can even add a 10-pound weight. Hold the weight here as you do it. But in this case, I have no weight, so I'm going to use just body weight. As I hinge down, as I let my left leg drop down, I don't want my right hip to drop, so I'm pulling my right hip up. I'm going to feel those obliques engage. I'm not going down too far. Again, the body is upright. Keep the left leg behind you and straight down, and come back up. 2. Pull that right hip up. Feel the difference. Keep the right knee pulling out. 3. Pull the right hip up. 4. 5. Even a 0.5 degree variance in our hips will cause compensations during a run. So it's important to address balancing the hips. Five. Six. Seven. 8. 10. Switch. Pull that left hip up. 1. 2. 3. 4. 6. 8. Engage the abdominals, pelvic floor. That left hip up. 9. 10. Hoo-wee. All right, let's get into some skater jumps. Start with one leg back. On my left foot first, I'm going to hinge this left femur back into the socket and sit the hips back as far as I can and get down deep. Lower. Jump a little bit ahead. Land. Opposite side. I'm going to hinge this right hip back and get deep. Pull the belly up. Back to the spine. This leg is behind me. Pull that right knee out using the hip. Keep the floating leg behind you. Pull that knee out. right, let's finish with Navasana. Pull our chest forward, come up on our toes, raise the heels. I want you to pull the tailbone under, pull the tailbone under you, squeeze the hip bones together, pulling the pelvic floor up to meet the abdominals. Hands can be behind the legs at first. On an exhale, after you exhale, then raise the leg. Exhale again. End of it, raise the other leg. Tailbone is still pulling under. However, the top of the body is pulling straight up, so it's a J shape. A J shape right here. Keep pulling that tailbone under to create the hook. Alright, now from here, hands can come out, but relax the fingers. Keep pulling the tailbone under. At the base of your exhale, and you can drop one leg. Come back up. As you bring the leg up, pull the abdominals in. Up. 2. J shape. 3. Tall spine. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. Last one. 10. Exhale. Right leg down. Exhale. Down. Come up. You rest for a moment. You can even take a quick butterfly. Trying to get your knees down, getting more into the groin, which can be a very tight, very innermost, but very, very small, but also a muscle that can tighten and can contribute to a knee valgus, where the knees are pulling in when you're running, or walking or standing. When your knees are going in, it's a sign that you have some kind of tightness along some inner line of your legs, and perhaps too much length on the IT band. So the IT band, which runs along the outside of the leg, could use tightening to pull the knee out, as well as the glutes to pull the knee out. But the inner thighs, and maybe specifically the growing area, could be what's contributing to pulling the knees in. So we need to loosen that area up, and this is a great way to do it. You can even go one leg at a time. I like to hold both my feet in my hand. Nice twist as well, pulling the belly in. I certainly don't want anything pulling my knees inward when they need to be in a nice straight line. Other side. Alright, let's try one more variation of Navasana. Let's bring the heels up, curl that tailbone under, start creating that J shape, and then let's take the hands behind the legs, one leg up, other leg up, hands out perhaps. If you're having difficulty, keep them here. I have mine out, but I'm going to keep my hands loose. And then let's try to keep the body upright, not really leaning back as we straighten the legs. we pull the knees in, really sucking the belly in, pulling the heart back towards the spine, the tummy back towards the spine. 2, 3, tailbone under. 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, look ahead. 8, 9, 10. Exhale. Down. Very nice. Thank you so much for joining me. Should feel fantastic tomorrow, and I hope you'll try this again next time you run. Have a great day. See you next time. Bye.